Hello, welcome. So I was feeling a bit bored, and then I decided to write a simple API for a shop. So it's a simple shop where user comes into the shop, is registered with the shop, and gets some products, and then from there adds to cart, and then checks out the cart, and then that's all. It's a very simple one. So let's just look at the code. So I have this very simple user class, email and password, basically for registration and validation of the user once the user comes back. So and then I have the product, also very simple implementation. I have just the name, the price, and then the quantity, and possibly a discount if available. Implemented custom hash and equals because I need to use just the name of the product for comparison. So two products will compare equal if only their names are the same. Okay, and then the same thing for the cart. So I have a cart object that contains carts just like normal cart. Your product should be contained within a cart, and then my implementation is such that the cart will be associated to just one user. So a cart to user, a one-on-one, one-to-one mapping. Okay, so that's that, and then a cart has items, and then your total and all that stuff. So I also implemented the custom hash and equals magic methods. So two cart will only compare equal if the users are the same. Then I have my own custom string implementation. So in case you want to print your cart, so it prints loops through the items and then prints them in a very it looks beautiful in a way. So I created properties, total, and items, and the total just returns a float. So just calculates it and then returns it to two decimal places. Then also have methods like I add items and then some validations too to make sure that I get what I want and then all that. So I did this. This one is just a test. I'll totally remove it after this. It's not supposed to be here because this class is not supposed to be standalone. It is meant to be used by the shop class anyway. We'll get to that. So let me just run this code. What I did here was just I defined three products and then a user, and then this is the cart. I created a cart and associated it with the user, and then I added items, changed quantities, and then added some more, removed some items, and then I started to print it, then clear the cart and print again. So let's just look at that. So if you run this, you will have this. So this is my custom string implementation. You see, it looks beautiful. So it loops through the items, prints them, the quantity requested, the price, the discount, and then computes the total, and then gives you the grand total. Then after, notice what I did here was I cleared the cart and then printed again. So once you clear, the cart becomes empty and it only prints empty cart. So that's beautiful. Okay, so we also have these. This is the shop, the main class. I have the name of the shop. Of course, if you're creating a shop, it has to have a name. You can include others like address and some other things, but this is a very simple implementation, so I don't need those ones for now. So I have the carts, of course, the users, and I'm using set because I need each and every one of these to be unique. So I don't need duplicates, and I don't want to go through the stress of using a list and then having to filter out duplicates and all that. Although I did something like that later on anyway. So I also have my own custom string implementation that loops through the product in the shop and then the users and all that stuff and then the carts and prints them something like this, very beautiful like this too. So I also have properties like the users, the cart, and then the product, and then I have classes. Yeah, sorry, not classes. I have methods. Okay, so and all those ones, so all that. Then I also did this. This was actually for testing. Aside this, I wrote some tests. We'll also look at that. This was just like an example to see how this thing works and if it's actually working and all that. So that's that. And then I have these. These are the tests I actually wrote. So I wrote two tests for the cart objects, the cart, and then for the shop. So this is my setup, and then the different test methods, comprehensive test anyway. I'll run it and then we'll look at it. Then I also have I also created the shop, a test for the shop. So also a comprehensive test. So just looking at some of those things that may break in case I need to add products. Yeah, I need to extend this API. I need to add other methods and all that so that I make sure it doesn't break existing functionality. So I can run the test. This is a test. Yes, I can just run it to check if everything is still okay. And it says, okay, everything is fine. So I'm good. And then that is just that. Like I said, it's very simple. So let's just spend a little time on the shop since every other thing is to be consumed by this. So let's look at it. So I created a shop, called it Summer Shop, and then I created some users, added the users to the shop. This is more like the users are registering. So a user comes, registers, and then that and all that. So I don't even need to keep this one since anytime the user comes in, I'll have to do custom validation or maybe login instead of login functionality. I have a user login function here, so that uses the email and the password to log in. Then I also have a get user that uses just the email, and of course I'm using type inting. So these are not actually implemented. If you're into Python, Python doesn't actually check these things at runtime. But it's just there to int the user of the class that this is actually the type of variable I'm looking for. So the email should actually be a string. Okay, so this is that I'm restricting the email. Okay, that uses the email. Then at the point of registering the user, I'm making sure that the email is unique because that's my primary variable for authentication. So the email must actually be unique. So that's what I'm doing here. So the user comes in. So after registering the user, I loaded some products. Like I said, some of these products I don't need them, so you can just delete these ones here. So that is, I've done that. Now this is what I do. A user comes in, and then I use the email of the user to get the user. So get user this, and then this is the user. This is like the user just logged into our system. And then I also created a cart. Once the user logs in, I create a cart for the user. So I do that, and then using the cart I can now look for the product. So I'm looking for peer. I use the name of the product to get the product. So get product using the name, and this should return this particular product for me. So returns that, and then I add that to the cart, and then does that this thing. So I added this. Now if you look at my custom implementation for the add method, if I over, it says it requires the product and quantity. Yeah, so if you do not supply the quantity, then the quantity defaults to 1. Okay, so now here I didn't supply quantity for pear and apple, so obviously the user only needs just a single unit of this product. But here I supply the quantity, so the user needs 5 units of the mango product. So what I did is at the point of checkout, the checkout prints something, and then I call that the receipt, and then I can print the receipt. And then this checkout actually raises some error. So it checks if product quantities are still sufficient for checkout. Then if you go to checkout and you go to that checkout method, you see it raises an error here. At this point, it raises value error. So I'm trying to catch the error. That is, if at the point of checking out, the quantity requested is less than the quantity available. Now, my logic for this is this. I'm thinking, of course, it happens that some users, after they've logged in, they can add products to cart and then wait for some time. Maybe that delay, which might be in minutes, in seconds, in hours, or in days, or weeks, a month. Another user might actually come in and then order this product, and by the time this other user who has actually put this product in his cart for some time tries to check out, the quantity available at the shop is now less than what the user requested. So at the point of checkout, I need to implement the custom. I need to check if the quantity requested is still available. So that is the this thing at this moment. So if it's not available, I raise an error, and then you try to catch the error and handle it. So what I'm doing here is just printing. So if you're actually using these, then you should know what to do. So if you run these, then you get this. So let's look at the output. So this is the receipt of the user. This is what the user got, and then these are the items in the shop. So look at it. Initially we had 200 units of pear, and the user comes in and gets just a unit of PS. So at the end of the day, we should have less than. So let's look at peer. Peer we now have 199, meaning our method is our class is actually working. Also the same thing for mango. Mango we had initially how many? We had 50 units. The user got 5, so we should be expecting 45. So that is what is happening here. So that's that. A very simple implementation, and I think it's actually interesting. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching.